Hello, welcome to my craft room this afternoon and welcome to a chilly and snowy up north. We've got lots of snow outside and it's feeling rather festive, so I thought I would crack on with some of my Christmas cards. So I'm going to be using one of the One Sheet Wonders today. It's one of the new ones. So the One Sheet Wonders have got everything you need on the one card to get you started. So you've got your topper, your backing paper panel and a choice of 2 sentiments. So I've printed this onto 200 GSM card and I thought I would turn on the camera and show you the progress of how this is made up. So I'm going to pop the time lapse on now. So I hope you enjoy it. Everything you need to know will be in the description of the video and in the comments. I'll do a list of what I've used so you can see how I've made it up. Hope you enjoy this. Take care. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. So the time lapse took us up to here. So basically what I did is I've just done a little bit of really simple matting and layering. Used a mini ink pad to ink around the outsides, and then I've cut out my sentiment die using one of my matting and layering, my nesting dies, to cut out this lovely shape. I've just put a little gold mat underneath it, and I'm just going to pop some little flat back pearls in the corners, just one of each. Here we go. Now these are really super sticky. These are from Hobby Lobby. The ones I get from Hobbycraft, if I'm going to use those, the adhesive isn't that very strong. So what I tend to do is I use a little wet glue and pop it down under the gem. But I know the Hobby Lobby ones are not going to go anywhere. They really got a good adhesive on them. So just to add a little bit of sparkle to the design, I'm going to use a little bit of stickles, and I'm probably going to add some Ranger liquid pearls as well, just to add a little bit of texture. So I'm going to pop a little bit of gold glitter on the gold stocking here. The person this card is for likes a bit of bling, so why not, eh? These designs are just so easy to use, really simple. That's the whole point. It's up to you how fancy you want to make them. They're a really good base. I mean, as it is, you could give this card just as it is, like this. But if you fancy blinging it up, you certainly can do. And you can bling it up and keep it quite flat for posting. Or you can go in and add all of your handmade flowers and some leaves and ribbons. So what I've done there is I've just literally gone through the tree, sort of added some fake baubles. They'll dry a little bit flatter, but it'll leave a nice little glitter shimmer when it dries. So I'm just going to pop some in and around the wreath. And I'm going to pop some Ranger liquid pearls. Now I'm just going to give this a really good shake, because this has been sat on the windowsill and it got down to -4 last night, so I just want to make sure, just warming it up in my hand, just making sure that it's released in the bottle and ready to use. When I open this up for the first time, it might get a little airlock in it. That's not to worry about. We'll deal with that at the time. If you do get a little air block in the nozzle, just use a little pin and just pop it in the nozzle just to free it up. Right, so I'm going to hold this up so you can see it a bit better. I'm going to squeeze, make a nice round dot and pull up. Squeeze, make a nice round dot and pull up. And just to add some more baubles. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of stickles, and I'm just going to put this around the trim on the stockings. And I'm going to do every other one. Just to highlight the fluffy trim. If I bring that up, hopefully you can see it. I'll turn the extra light on. There we go. So hopefully you can see the shimmer on the trim of the stockings. So that card for me, I'm going to be quite happy sending that to friends and family just as it is there. But this one is for someone quite special. So I'm going to pimp this up, but I'm going to do that in the second part of the video, just so the video is not a huge file size. So here is the beginner's basic version, if you like, and stay tuned for the next video, which will be for to add me handmade flowers and pimp it up a bit. So thank you for watching. If you want, stay tuned, and I will put a link to the second video in the description and in the comments as well for you. Take care. Thank you. So anyone who knows me knows I love to make paper flowers. So I have got a very generic poinsettia die that I've just used to cut these out. So I'm just going to take my really old, trusty old ball tool from Tonic. I'm going to turn these over, and I'm going to go from the tip right to the center, just applying the right amount of pressure. The paper I'm using for this is a 160 GSM, and it's just a plain gorgeous latte colour from one of my kits that I've used to cut it out. I thought the colours went quite nice with the card, and this is the colour in my friend's living room, so I just thought it would bring it all together. So I'm just going to go second layer from the tip right to the centre. You can see how it draws up the petal just to create that beautiful poinsettia shape. I'll turn that over and give it a good press in the centre. So there's my 2 layers done for this one. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to pop a little hole. I'm going to put these as though I'm going to pop them on the card, so I've upset the petals. So if you put the layers exactly on top of each other and then just turn it round a bit so it sits right in the centre, you'll have a really nice realistic shape. So using the sharp point of my little snips, you could use a pokey tool and then a ball tool, whatever you've got, just to create that nice little hole in the centre. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these little wired flower centres, and I'm going to take some of these lovely gold stamens. These ones are from Crafter's Companion. I've had these a while. And I'm just going to make sure, or at least try to get them lined up at the top. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of wire and I'm going to just bend this round to make a little bobby pin. And then I'm going to bring both sides of the stamens up so that I'm trying to get them to line up at the top. Then pop me bobby pin through the loop. And then I'm going to pop it through the first one. And pop it through the hole in the second layer. Still trying to keep them offset. And pull them through like that. And I'm just going to push that back up a little bit. And then I'm going to display them out a bit, fan them out a bit. And then I'm going to pop him in the centre. And then that's my little flower done. So I'm just going to dry these up a bit. And then I'm just going to bring my glue gun under here. Just pop a little bit of glue on either side just to hold that in place. Draw the petals up a little, and then I can get rid of this wire now because I don't need it. Pop that to one side and I'll use it for the next little flowers. And then using my gold glue gun, making sure my fingers are well out the way, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue underneath just so it holds it all in place. Take away my glue tails. And then I'll set this aside to dry for a few minutes while I'm doing a bit of cutting out. So I'm going to use one of my, this is the holly sheet. And this has been printed on to 120 GSM, just because I had this sheet already printed out. I usually print them onto a 160. I find it gives a better shape when you're forming them, but use what you have in your stash. So I'm just going to really quick and easy cut this out. These are so easy to cut out. There's one done. Obviously I'm being really quick for the camera, so just take your time. These look so realistic on cards, it looks like you're using real holly leaves. And what I like about this particular leaf is I use it quite a lot for cards all year round as well. all I do is, because you have your beautiful leaf shape, I just cut the points off. And then I've got an all year round leaf as well. So you're getting use of it all year round. Right, so now that that's dry, I just want to make sure. Oh, I think I'm going to do a few flowers. I really like that. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do a few. So we shall repeat the process. I'm just going to do a single bead flower in the smaller ones though. So this is the next size down. And I'm going to do 2 of these. So I've got 1 large on one side and 2 of the smaller on the other. So same again, tips to the center, tips to the center. And once you get in the groove for these, they're actually really, really quick and put together. So I usually have a batch of some already made up, but it's been so busy lately. I've depleted my flower stash box. So using my trusty scissors again, just going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. Right, so this time what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue, just not over the hole, so you're not covering the hole that you've just made, but next to it. I'm going to pop these in place. And then I'm just going to pop my little wide flower centre through. And there's one done. See, as quick as that, they'll come together. Just put a little bit of glue to the side. Offset my flower. And pop him in the centre. And there's my 2 smaller ones done. Just that little bit of extra with those stamens makes so much difference, doesn't it? Right, so I'm back to my card. I've got a nice little selection of foliage. So I've got a lovely green sheet here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop that whole sheet on me. And I'm just going to cut out a little bit of festive foliage. This is the Tim Holtz. Let's have a look. This is the Thinlits Sizzix with Tim Holtz, and it's number 661597. I just love the little festive look of the foliage. Quite wispy and this was a little gift off our Laura, and I've really enjoyed using these. Alright, so I'm just going to pop that through the machine. Taking these off the plate. Little holly sprigs and pine. I need my pokey tool to get some of these out. So I'll start that off by put my pokey tool in the end. Just enough to pull him out. I like this green. That's the good thing about the downloads is I can print this green sheet off as many times as I want. It's really, I find it really hard to buy green card that's a nice colour for foliage. So it's nice that I can just get it when I want it. I'm going to run this through again and do another batch. Pine. So pretty, I love it. Typical Spellbinders and Tim Holtz quality though, these dies. They come out so easily, I love them. So pokey tool in that little one just to start it off. And then pull it out. One left to do. Last one, here we go. Start it off. Apologies for my nails. I was Christmasing yesterday and the wires made a right job of my nail varnish. Alright, so move these out of my way so I've got a little bit of space to work. Alright, so I am going to cut that off here. There we go. Just so it sits flatter on the card. And I am going to just give it a little bit of shape. And I'm going to go around the outside. And then using the ball tool, I'm just going to follow the line down the holly leaves, starting from the tip and going to the other end, just to give them that lovely shape. There we go. So, giving a little bit of a bend at that end. Then go in with some of my festive foliage. Now people ask when I'm doing my flowers and my foliage, because I am actually a florist, I do cards exactly how I do my flower arrangements. I put my foliage down first because then that shows us it gives us a nice line for to go in with my flowers. I find foliage just as important in an arrangement as the flowers themselves. So I'm just gonna get a nice little covering. And then I'm going to go in with some of my mirror card foliage that I prepared earlier. Just going to cut these down into a few pieces. Now, I've basically sped things up for the sake of the video. But if you're doing this at home, make sure you give yourself an hour or two before you start decorating your card, because you really want your stickles to be nice and dry. It's nothing more frustrating than when you've spent ages doing a card and then you smear your glitter glue everywhere. It's really hard to take it off. So make sure you give yourself enough time and all the bits have dried that you've put on. Basically what I'm doing is I'm creating a garland around the sentiment, around the topper. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of ribbon. I'm just going to create a tail on each end. Nice and steep. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over, so I'm using the underside, pop a little glue, and then making sure your fingers are well away, pop that, and that's just give me a little tail. So I've got my little ribbon tail on my card just there. Pop a little bit more foliage on. So for me, it's all about creating depth and layers and dimension. I want my eye to be drawn into the card. So I'm going to go in with the big flower on this side, and then I'm going to put the little two on the others. Festive, why not? Break out more bling. So, pop a few of these in. Just little beaded strands. And then I'm just going to get rid of that big blob of glue. I'm going to hold these up. So there's that one flower in. And then this is the second one. I'm going to take a couple of these sequin cups, and I'm just going to dot some of these about. These just add a lovely little bit of shimmer and a little bit of detail. I like to go over these with the liquid pearls and just put a little dot on. Just adds a little bit of interest. And then I'm going to pop some of these lovely berries in. Just love the cranberry colour of these ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up the poinsettia flower, just put a nice little bit of glue underneath it, and then have that coming out the top like that. lift up the leaves just so it hides the mechanics. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few actually off the stem and just dot them around. There we go. So I'll cut their little wires off so you can't see the little white tails. So I'm just cutting these down a little. It's turning into quite a long video. Some cards I love to do quick and simple. I think it's important to show everybody how easy it is to use the downloads, and you can make them into whatever you want. You can make them as complicated or as simple as you want. And the best thing is, don't worry about it. If you make a mistake, it's just a piece of paper. You can easily print off another one. Oops. Last one. Pop him in there, and then that's my little card finished. There we go. I hope you've liked this little project. Thank you so much for joining me, and don't forget, look at the description of the video. If you're on a mobile and you find it difficult to do that, I will include everything in the first comment on the video as well. And don't forget to have a look at the blog. I'll make a bit of a project on this on the blog so you can find everything nice and easily as well. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.